What's up, my viewers? Welcome back. Last time, we followed Rifenhardt as he crossed paths with a young orc named Todd, who would later become one of the most influential figures among his people. We saw Rifenhardt stand firm against mercenaries, showcase his overwhelming strength, and unknowingly shape the future of the orc tribes. Now, half a year later, his training continues, pushing him beyond his limits as new challenges await. Let's jump straight back into the story. The youth wrinkled his nose and guessed that the orc before him was about 3 or 4 years old. The young monster looked at him intently, as if hiding from someone. Rifenhardt smiled and asked if someone was chasing him. The orc flinched in surprise, realizing the man could speak his language. Closing his eyes, he admitted that he was indeed being hunted. Hands on his waist, Rifenhardt declared that he wanted to help. The orc hesitated, warning that such help could put him in danger. But Rifenhardt only smiled, noting the noble air of this creature, and assured him he was strong enough. Purple smoke rose as he lifted his hands, cloaking the area in magic. Pointing toward the entrance of the cave, Rifenhardt told the orc his spell would hide him. The monster stared in shock. "You're a mage?" he asked, surprised at the sight of such power in someone with such a warrior's body. Confused but unconcerned, Rifenhardt simply shrugged. The orc stepped into the cave and turned back to thank him. But before Rifenhardt could relax, the sound of footsteps echoed behind him. A crowd of men approached, led by a knight. "Have you seen the monster?" the knight demanded. Another warrior stepped forward, promising a gold coin in exchange for information. The knight smirked at his companion. "Don't bother, I wouldn't actually pay him anyway." Crossing his arms, Rifenhardt coolly replied that he hadn't seen anyone. But the knight noticed tracks on the ground, realizing the orc had gone ahead. "This is my home," Rifenhardt declared firmly, standing before the stone wall behind him, "and I won't let anyone inside." The mercenaries mocked him, but their laughter quickly faded when Rifenhardt raised his hand. A massive purple seal appeared, and a weapon materialized in the earth before him. He grasped its hilt with a sly grin. "Don't worry," he said. "You won't die from this." The mercenaries panicked as Rifenhardt swung the weapon with overwhelming force. Their leader shouted for everyone to attack at once. Steel clashed, but Rifenhardt's body barely flinched, even when struck from behind. The enemy's sword bent against him. With a powerful swing, Rifenhardt threw his attacker aside, smirking at how little the blades could harm him. Soon, most of the mercenaries were on the ground, groaning in pain and begging for mercy. Only one man remained standing. He staggered forward and demanded Rifenhardt's name. With a grin, Rifenhardt struck him down. "It's not fair for you to be standing when your friends are already praying to the ancestors." Terrified, the mercenaries fled. Rifenhardt glanced at his broken weapon and thought aloud that perhaps he needed students of his own, just so he'd have someone to spar with. The orc emerged from the cave, bowing deeply. He pressed a hand to his chest and promised never to forget this kindness. With solemn words, he declared Rifenhardt his life mentor, a role sacred in orc culture. Amused, Rifenhardt almost gave his true name, Teslon, but stopped himself. Instead, he smiled and said, "My name is Rifenhardt." The orc, hair flowing in the wind, promised to remember the name. When asked where he would go, the orc said he wished to find a safe place, or perhaps become a free wanderer. Rifenhardt advised him to seek the land of trials, where the Blue Bear tribe resided. As the young orc ran off, Rifenhardt called after him, asking his name. The boy turned and shouted, "Todd!" Rifenhardt froze in shock, his mouth falling open. The image of Tahid, the future leader of the Blue Bear tribe and eventually all orcs, flashed in his mind. Scratching his temple with a smile, Rifenhardt thought it must be fate. After all, the real Teslon would never have helped an orc. Watching Todd disappear into the distance, Rifenhardt recalled a vision, different races standing together under the Antares Empire. He pictured Tahid, Sirius the Troll, King Terry the Dwarf, and countless others by his side. Half a year passed since that fateful encounter. On a frozen lake, Gerard, his fiery fist blazing, unleashed a torrent of energy. Rifenhardt was forced to leap back and defend himself with his vortex guard. "Impressive," Gerard said, crossing his arms. He remembered how his student had once lost his memory, calling himself by another name. Hands on his waist, Rifenhardt retorted, "Why bring up something from 6 years ago?" Gerard scratched his beard. Because in the last 10 years, you've grown stronger than ever. Yet, why are you still so small? Rifenhardt blinked. Small? I'm nearly 2 meters tall. Too short, Gerard roared. A member of the indestructible training hall must be taller than 2 meters. Placing a hand on his student's head, Gerard asked if he was following the breathing technique correctly. Rifenhardt wondered privately if true growth would make him so tall he'd never fit through a doorway, but Gerard nodded with satisfaction. No matter. You're strong enough now. It's time to show me everything you've learned. Excitement lit Rifenhardt's eyes. He soared into the sky, summoning the Horn of Distress. Energy exploded as he struck the frozen lake, shattering the ice into towering shards. Gerard laughed heartily. Excellent attack. You've reached the 4th stage. Rifenhardt looked at his hand, a confident smile spreading across his face. Gerard's expression grew serious. It's time for you to leave. Whether you become a hero or a villain doesn't matter. Live freely. Rifenhardt frowned sadly, recalling his teacher's words from long ago. Even villains, Gerard had said, must live honorably. Defend those who suffer unfairly. Spread the teachings of the indestructible training hall. Find a worthy student to inherit our ways. Gerard tossed him a bag of silver, payment for his training. He also handed over a scroll, a gift hidden in the Settlered Mountains. As Rifenhardt set out into the snowy wilderness, he paused, uncertain if this freedom was truly his. Behind him, a massive explosion shook the ground. Gerard's voice roared across the mountains. Go forth! You are the heir to the greatest techniques in this land. With a grin, Rifenhardt ran on, toward destiny. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, comment, and share. It really helps support the channel. Drop a comment below with your thoughts, or let me know which manhwa you want me to recap next. And of course, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future chapters or epic recaps. See you in the next video.